best. We'll sign some paperwork. All standard boilerplate stuff, of course. NDA, consent forms, release forms, next of kin, that kind of thing. Next of kin? The older man waved the question away with a flick of his wrist that looked like it could have broken Eric's collarbone if it had been too close. He pulled a tablet from inside his desk. It seemed almost flimsy in his hands, as if he could snap it in half if he so wished. "Number 1, Marston snapped eagerly, like a grade school teacher reading out questions for a pop spelling quiz. "What is your current employment status?" "On," Eric sighed. "You're going to have to speak up, son, and where I'm from, we say sir when we're finished speaking." As if that wasn't obvious. He didn't say that, of course. Not with $500 on the line. "I was on an esports team, but I wasn't, as competitive as Hans." "Esports, huh? That's like online gambling?" "More like competitive video games." The man shook his head, and his lip wrinkled in disgust like Eric's dad used to when he got tired before he'd finished mowing the lawn. "Is there much money in that?" "I was getting by okay, but right now I'm unemployed, sir." His skin crawled at calling the man sir, but his stomach took precedence over his pride. "Very good," the interviewer replied, as if being unemployed was the best of all possible answers. "How many hours a week would you say you pass time with your friends?" "I'm sorry, how is that relevant?" Marston checked his watch. "We need to keep moving if we're going to get that cash in your hand today, son." "But I don't understand the details, son. I only ask the questions. I think it's something to do with network effects and synapses. I don't know. I'm not an egghead. Answer the question." "I haven't seen any friends in a month, sir. Not since I left the team." "You got a girlfriend?" "No, but Hans does." The man nodded and made a note on his tablet. Eric wondered if he was checking the box for loser. "What about family?" "I haven't seen my family in years." It was still a sore point, so he didn't add anything more. Marston made a few more notes on his tablet while Eric waited for more questions, but none came. "All right, son. It looks like you're eligible. Now the fun part. Paperwork." It was ostensibly a joke. He knew that. But the man had delivered it with such ham-handed gracelessness that all he could do was stare at the mound of paper that was shoved in front of him. "I thought there would be medical questions." His query was waved away with another flick of his wrist. "The eggheads want participants in a variety of levels of physical fitness, all the way down. They'll give you a once-over once we take you back there." "Sure," he said, not wanting to dwell on how obvious it was that he was on the bottom end of the fitness scale. "First up is a standard non-disclosure agreement. You can't tell anyone about what you do here today, nor can you post about it online, write about it, take photos, or anything else. If you do, you'll face fees, jail time, and whatever our lawyers can get to stick." Marston seemed determined to talk so fast that Eric couldn't read and listen at the same time. Still, he'd signed NDAs before. They were all fairly standard. Don't talk about this or you'll get in trouble. He signed it. No sooner had he finished the N in his last name than the other man snatched the paper away. Eric hadn't seen him move around the table, but he now towered over him and pointed out where he would need to sign, date, and initial. "Next up is a consent form. It simply declares that you're in full control of your faculties and you willingly go through this process." "And what is the process?" "You have to sign one of these to go to Six Flags, son. And you got to sign one today if you want to get paid. It's only saying you agreed to do this." He could smell the bad coffee on Marston's breath. It encouraged him to sign and date the form. "Great. The next one is a standard liability release. You can initial on each line where I highlighted." "Risk of injury?" "This is medical research, son. You'd be surprised at how the general populace reacts to something as benign as the prick of a needle. Goddamn legion of lawyers. Of course,